Shalom. I want to talk about a story that occurred in the Torah recently about 5 little girls who felt that they were cheated by the law as understood. It's the story of the daughters of Zelophad. Well, according to the Torah, until that point, girls could not inherit property. Now, their father had died, and just before there had been a rebellion against Moses by Korach and his fellows. These 5 girls, and just imagine the chutzpah of coming together to Moses and making a claim. Well, they did. They had the desire and the fortitude to do this. And they basically said to Moses they didn't feel it was fair that their father lose all his property. He didn't do anything wrong. And why should he suffer just because he had girls? Well, Moses doesn't really know what to do. It seems like a valid argument and presents it to God. And God says clearly the girls are right. Now, that story teaches us many important values. Number one, the movement towards equality of women's rights. It took a long time in Western civilization for women to even be able to obtain property and have a right to vote, just a century ago or less in Western culture. But the Torah here, thousands of years ago, is moving in that direction. Second of all, it teaches us that we never back down from injustice and unfairness. These girls did not back down when they knew the laws from God through Moses. They challenged Moses, and they got God to change God's perspective. So that's a very important point. Remember Abraham challenging God, will not the judge of all the earth do justice? We never back down. And third, it shows a sense that the Torah is not fixed. The Orthodox believe that every word is written from God to Moses at Sinai. But we clearly know, Bible scholars know, after studying the text carefully, that the Torah itself is a kind of midrash. It's an understanding of human beings of God's essential will. And this is one of the many, many, many examples of how that's true, that the Torah itself evolves, as Judaism has always evolved, with great love and respect and desire to fulfill the will of God. And so the simple story in the book of Numbers of the daughters of Zelophad stands very loudly and clearly. Now, one interesting postscript is that in the next portion that we just read, in Matot Maseh, it seems like there's a little backing off, where the rule now is the girls to keep the property have to marry men from their own tribe. And that teaches us another very important lesson, that we can't always expect rightness and justice and equality to occur all at once, that it comes in leaps and starts, and sometimes there's backing off. In fact, it took until the rabbinate and the chief rabbinate of Israel to be a modern state for there to be essential equality in that regard. But it just shows that sometimes ideas are planted and they take a while. So we learn these 3 valuable lessons from the story of the daughters of Zelophad.